owns Kenya, and this is a fascinating one. Now, Nairobi Java Coffee House is our focus, and during the festive month of December, Who Owns Kenya, of course, took you on a sightseeing tour of various hotels in the country to enjoy some of the flora and fauna that Kenya has to offer. Now, today our focus is on this specialty cafe business that has become a household name in the country. We're talking about Nairobi Java House Limited, and that is the official name of the company that owns the Java Coffee House chain. And chances are that if you live in Nairobi or Mombasa and you love a specialty cup of coffee, you've most probably had one in a Java coffee shop. As such, you're probably familiar with the products of Java coffee houses. What you may not be aware of is the history of the group, the investors behind it, and the group's associated business interests. Now, two American former relief workers, Kevin Ashley and John Wagner, started Nairobi Java Coffee House in 1999. The two had come to Kenya on relief work, and by the time of their tour of duty ended, by the time they had completed it, they had fallen in love with the country enough to want to stay, and Nairobi Java House Limited was born. Besides the two Americans, there's Ahmed Jibril, a publicity-shy local entrepreneur who's also been associated with the origins of the Java Group. Jibril, a former employee of Transnational Bank, has also served as the chairman of Nairobi Java House Limited. Now, from the humble beginnings with a single coffee shop at Adams Arcade along Nairobi's Ngong Road, Nairobi Java Coffee House now has 14 coffee houses strategically spread in various parts of Nairobi and Mombasa, and has plans to expand outside Kenya. The group has also ventured into the frozen yogurt business with investments in Planet Yogurt outlets. You may have seen them at some of the Nairobi malls. Now, the company has grown within a relatively short span of 14 years to become not just one of the most profitable food businesses in the region, but one of the few to attract the interests of a leading US venture capital group, Emerging Capital Partners, ECP. Now, towards the end of last year, ECP convinced the shareholders of Nairobi Java Coffee House to sell 90% of the company for an undisclosed amount of money. Now, a pointer to the probable amount that ECP paid for the controlling interest in Java was a statement by the CEO of ECP, Hurley Doddy, that the Java deal was, and I quote, within the margins of the ECP average deal size of 60 million US dollars. This gives an indicative price of 5.1 billion Kenya shillings. Now, the cost of putting up a single Java cafe unit falls between 30 to 60 million shillings, according to the group CEO and co-founder Kevin Ashley. And the company has an annual turnover of 1 billion shillings. Now, as things stand, the ownership of this successful specialty coffee chain business, which zealously guards its financials and inside shareholding details, looks like this. Let's have a look. And in just a moment, those figures should be on your screen. I'm going to start reading them for you, though. As we mentioned, 90% was bought out by ECP. Now, this is a US-based private equity firm, but interestingly, South Africa's tycoon Cyril Ramaphosa and also the revered former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela, sit on its advisory board. That's ECP holding 90% of Nairobi Java Coffee House. And of course, 10% remains with the founders Kevin Ashley and John Wagner and other local investors. And it's not quite clear what the shareholding group chairman Ahmed Jibril currently is, but he certainly is in that 10% group. And that's it. So there you have it. Next time you sit down to enjoy a cup of coffee or a meal on a leisurely afternoon, perhaps in one of the Java cafes, you have an idea of where your money is going. We move on now to our quote of the week. And this week it's from celebrated African author Chinua Achebe. It's an interesting one. He says, sometimes problems knock, knock, knock at your door. And when you say there's no seat, he tells you not to worry because he's brought his own stool.